Welcome to another episode of the Empowered Half Hour. And I'm bringing you a guest that you're going to love because I love her and I've only known her for a few minutes. And I just think this is going to be really, really good. But I am bringing you today a fellow New World Library author, Wendy Valentine. She is the author of the recently released The Women of, I was going to share your podcast, so I'm just going to rewind. Her book is Women Waking Up, and she's the podcast host of the Midlife Makeover podcast. But Wendy, you do a lot of beautiful things for women in midlife. So let's welcome you to the show.
Thank you so much for having me. And I know we had some technical difficulties, but nothing two women cannot handle. We're here and we're ready and we're going to have fun.
That is it. That is it. And I love just reading about you. I noticed, I was telling you when I first actually could see your face too, that I love alliterations and I love that you use passion and purpose and play. And I was sharing with you that I'm really tapped into purpose. I'm really tapped into passion, but I sometimes miss the play. And I think a lot of the women listening to this are in the same boat. So I can't wait to get into it a little more. So ladies, we're going to talk about play. But first, I want to introduce you a little bit more to Wendy and why she does this work. I love, love, love starting with the backstory. Whenever you have a podcast and whenever you write a book, there's a reason we do it.
Now, there's a story, right? I'll tell you what, though, the reason I wrote Women Waking Up is for any woman out there that feels lost, stuck, invisible, or just quietly dissatisfied, because I have been that woman. I'm 52 now, almost turning 53. I'm turning 53 on Thanksgiving. Y'all think about me when you're eating your turkey. But 45 years old, about 7 years ago, I was going through divorce, unemployment. I was about 150 grand in debt, empty nest. Let's see, chronic illness. I had black mold toxicity, Lyme disease, the list goes on. I was also dealing with menopause. And I know menopause is like the hot topic these days, no pun intended. And then within a 6-week period, my dog died, my cat died, and then my brother died.
Damn, Wendy.
I know. I mean, talk about a shit sandwich. But so needless to say, I was incredibly depressed. I was suffering from panic attacks, which I'd never experienced before in my whole life. Anxiety, you name it. I was a mess. And I can remember it. And actually, I read on your website where you had kind of like a bathroom floor moment. And I was thinking, like, why do we women always end up bawling our eyes out on the bathroom floor? I think it's because it's the only place that we can get a little bit of peace and quiet so we can cry.
I'm like, hello, cold tile. You're holding me right now.
Or maybe it's the hot flashes, like with the cold tile. It's like, oh my God, it feels so good. But anyways, yes, I had a moment like that too, where I was laying on the bathroom floor, bawling my eyes out, thinking, Wendy, you're going to be turning 50 here in a few years and your life is a mess. You have no job. You're sick. You're broke. I mean, you name it. Anything and everything was wrong with my life in that moment. And then I was saved by this wild vision, this wild dream, literally just like out of the blue.
I can't wait to hear it.
I was thinking, wouldn't it be cool to drive an RV across the country? And I was like, where in the world did that come from? And I always thought it would be cool, you know? And I thought, Wendy, this is not the time to do that. I'll admit, I think at the time I thought it was a nice escape, right? Oh, if I could just take off and get the hell out of here. But then I was reminded of the fact that I had no money. I had no job. I go, wait a second.
Problem to the plan.
Yes. But then I thought, well, what if I actually made this dream come true? And I started to think of all the things that I would need to do to make this dream come true. I'd have to get a job. I'd have to get out of debt. I'd have to recover from all this illness and the grief and everything. And then I became very overwhelmed, paralysis by analysis, and I was already ready to wave the white flag, even though I hadn't even started yet. But then I thought the pain of staying where I was at in my life was far worse than the pain of just going for it. And why not? I had nothing to lose at the point because I had lost everything. And within 2 years, I'm going to like fast forward it for you a little bit.
Yeah,
Within
my
2
transformation
years,
took about 2 years too, from bathroom floor to like
yes,
new
isn't
life.
that crazy?
Yeah.
Yes. 24 months roughly. I ended up recovering from chronic illness. I paid off all my debt. and saved up enough money to buy an RV, take off across the country, start my own podcast, The Midlife Makeover Show, and eventually writing my book, Women Waking Up, which the book itself, the framework in the book is freedom. And I'm like you too. I love a good acronym. I mean, you can't,
Love it.
you can't
Like,
go
how can
wrong
you go
with a good
wrong?
acronym, right? And that 2-year journey became the blueprint, became this freedom framework that I teach in the book. That's my
Beautiful.
breakdown to breakthrough story. It was awesome,
Hey,
actually.
it's real and raw and beautiful. And that's, I think,
Yeah.
what all of it is. It's like, I think sometimes we need, I don't know that we need to, but there seems to be from all, you interview a lot of people too. It's like there, this stripping needs to happen. Like this,
Yes.
maybe it's rock bottom. Some people like you and me, like when I hit the bathroom floor, I was riddled in disease that I had, autoimmune
Mm.
disease. I had to heal that. Like I call it the devastation of the D's, but I had disease, I had debt, I was on the verge of divorce. Thank God that didn't happen because my husband's on the other side of that door and I love him very much. But like I had disconnected relationships with my kids. I could go
Mm.
on and on and on. I'm like, it's the devastation of the D's. They were present everywhere, but you learn what's not aligned to you, right?
Yes. Oh,
And
yeah.
you
Such a
start
good point.
letting it go. So anyway, I
Mhm.
relate to so much of what you're saying. I mean, I'm a Sagittarius and I love freedom. So I'm just gonna oh, that's right. You're on Thanksgiving this
Yes.
year. I'm December
When's
13th.
your
So anyway,
birthday? When's your birthday?
December 13th.
Oh, and I'm 11/27. That is so wild. I had a feeling you were Sagittarius.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm
But I love that you made that point because it was just yesterday. I put an Instagram reel up about the statue of David. And when they asked Michelangelo how he carved the statue of David, he said, well, I just carved away at everything that was not him. And yeah, I know, right? It's the unlearning. Like sometimes we think we need to add more things in our lives, whether it's habits or we need to hustle more or we need to jump through more hoops. But really, it's the opposite. It's carving away at the things in our life and within our minds, within ourselves, that is not us. And as you chip away at those things, whether they're behaviors, or your beliefs, or your thoughts, you chip away at those things and really start to you have to have that real conversation with yourself of, okay, Wendy, all right, Becca, like, is this really what I think? Is this really what I believe? Is this really what I want to do? Like, start having those conversations with yourself and try not to do it out loud in public, but
yeah, you might get
have
some
those
looks.
tough, right? Have those tough conversations with yourself and start to question those things. Like, I think especially as you get in your 40s that you need to question a lot of what you're doing. And is it what you really want to do? Is it really how you want to think and believe? Because especially in your 20s and 30s, like you're checking off all the boxes, right? The kids, the career, the house and the
Yes, you're
birds.
building. You're not even thinking about it. You're just doing.
Yes. You're just bum, 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 bum. And it's whatever family wants or society wants or Instagram wants, right? You're just doing the things. And then you wake up, in your 40s and 50s and you're like, wait, who am I? Your body's changing. Your relationships are changing, whether you like it or not. And that's one thing I love about this stage in life is that you're old enough to know what did not work and what did work, but you're still young enough to do something about it. You can literally flip your whole life upside down if you want to, or you can just fine tune it. What? Tell me, tell
I am
me.
just laughing because literally I said, I'm in another transitional state and I'm having to look because it's been like 8 years since I went through my last one. So I feel like it's par for course, you know?
Yeah, yeah, good sloughing off period. Yeah.
Yeah. And so I have to like, what's in alignment? What's not in alignment? Doing all those things that you said. But I literally said to one of my girlfriends, I am too old and too young for this shit.
Yeah, exactly, right? But that's why it's such a perfect time to like reevaluate, regroup before you go into this next chapter. I mean, we always have a next chapter to go into. Hopefully we always have a next chapter to go into. But as you're still breathing, then yes, then go ahead and take a look at your life. Take a look at how everything that as a matter of fact, I watched your trailer on your website and you told a story about when you went to Tony Robbins, the UPW, which I did too. Did you walk on fire?
I did.
Did you?
Yes.
I know I did too.
So
I did too. It was so fun. But anyways, in your video, you talk about how this lady, Tony Robbins, chose her out of the audience and how she wanted to become a singer, but she didn't because of her dad. And then she really
Yes.
could sing. And it also made me think of Wayne Dyer. He used to always say, don't die with your music still in you.
Yes. Oh, I have the
Right.
goosebumps head to
Yes, yeah,
toe.
do you remember,
Yes.
like, whatever your music is, doesn't have to be literal music. But then also, it made me think of Bronnie Ware in her book, The Top 5 Regrets of the Dying. And the
Yes.
number one regret, yeah, the number one regret is living life for everyone else. That is the number one regret. And I can remember going back to my bathroom floor moment. I can remember thinking, it is time for me to start living for me.
Yes.
I mean, not that I don't regret being a mother and taking care of the family and doing all the things, but I mean, I was a perfectionist, the people pleaser, an approval seeker, a codependent. Yeah, right. Everyone raise your hand. So I was going above and beyond, not knowing why. I was just robotic about it because that's how I was raised to think. This is what you do. You take care of everybody else.
Exactly.
Wendy, set your dreams over here on the back burner. Even whatever you think and believe and what you really want to do with your life, put that over here. You can maybe address this
Maybe you'll
later
get
on in
to
your
it.
life.
Yeah, no,
Yeah,
they totally
maybe
go
you'll
to the
get to it.
sidelines, back burner, whatever. That's why
Yeah,
we're so miserable.
yes, exactly. I had finally decided, no, it's time. We are not doing this anymore.
Yes, ma'am.
I had to take a stand for me, for my own health and well-being. Because I know that I wasn't doing anyone any good. I couldn't take care of anybody else anymore. I mean, I just couldn't do it.
I
But,
get that.
I can remember there was a quote that I loved during that time. I still love it. It's one of my faves. I bet you know it. Marianne Williamson.
Oh, yes.
Yes.
Say it,
Yes.
please.
I know. Our deepest fear is not that we are inadequate. Our deepest fear is that we are powerful beyond measure. It is our light,
Goosebumps
not, I
again.
know, it is our light, not our darkness that most frightens us. Now, there's a reason why that quote kept sticking out for me during that time. And I remember reading, I had like one of those cute little plaques with the quote on it on my wall. And I kept staring at it and thinking, why would I be scared of my light? That's stupid. I remember they was like, Marianne Williamson, you don't know what you're talking about. And when I read it again and again, and I was like, I think I am scared of my light. Because if I fully embraced my light, if I fully stepped into my light, that means I'll have to get a divorce. That means I have to get a job. That means I actually have to write a book or start a podcast or fulfill my dreams and actually get over myself and my fears and my doubts and all the BS that I've carried for decades. So, yeah, I think a lot of us are very comforted by our own darkness because it's familiar. We know how to deal with our own bullshit, right? We even have the internal conversations. Like if we have the doubts that pop up or, oh my God, I'm too old or I'm not good enough. I'm not smart enough. Then there's even like another voice going, yeah, you're right. I mean, you get used to it. You're just like familiar with it until one day you just have to make the decision like, I'm not believing this stuff anymore. I'm going to step into my light and actually be who I want to be.
I
Yeah.
love that on so
Yeah.
many levels because it's true. And that it takes work. That's the one thing. So, like you're saying, it's a little more comfortable to stay in your darkness, throw
Yeah.
your pity party, complain, or just settle, whatever it is for that person. But you know what happened when I stepped into my light, kind of like what you're saying, and started owning my gifts and talents? I had to start developing them. I had to start
Yeah.
leaning into them. And it was so exciting and so fun, but it was also a lot of work. I hadn't nourished them for a long time. Like the writer in me, I was pretending to write books when I was like 6 years old and then like delivering my epiphanies to my stuffed animals. So there's a part of me that has been around for a really long time. But I had to like allow her to come back, and
Yeah.
have a seat at the table and to nurture those natural skills and like I would say like my uniqueness, my talents that are native to me. I had suppressed. So I had to like
Yeah.
spend some time developing them too, like to be at the level that I wanted to be by owning my light, right? Because I was like, "Ooh, my light wants me to be an author. My light wants me to
Yes.
be on stages. Awesome, but scary. So anyway,
I love that you made that point because, yes, you have to give yourself permission to change. And for me, one of the things that I was so excited about, not so much just driving an RV across the country and,
oh, that's pretty
cruising through the
incredible.
desert to the sunset, like, woohoo! But I was actually more excited about the woman behind that steering wheel, the woman that was actually literally and figuratively in the driver's seat of her life. And
Awesome.
I was so excited just to envision a woman that was happy and healthy and financially free. And she had her shit together. She had good relationships. She had gotten rid of all the toxic relationships.
See, that's
Yeah,
what I
all
was
of
talking about.
yes,
Yes.
exactly. So I think sometimes, it's like we're wanting to change our lives, whether a little or a lot. We focus too much on the what, when, where, and how instead of just focusing on the who. Like, who do you want to be, right? If you were to imagine, Becca of years ago, before you did any of this, you had to envision a Becca that was actually, how does that Becca like stand in front of a crowd of people and give a speech? How does that new Becca actually write a book and be
Yes.
focused and giving herself permission? Like, you have to envision the man or woman that you want to be. And then it's fascinating how a lot of the things that you want just will fall into your lap because you're being the person. You're being the person of whoever attracts those types of people, places, or things or events in your life. So get excited about that. Get excited about the person that you want to be, knowing that you have the power. You have the Becca power. You have the
And
power.
got the
You
power.
have the
It's true.
power to actually do that, right? It's all up to you. I mean, literally taking back your power, and going, this is who I'm going to be in my life. And no one's going to stop me. I
I
mean,
love
if you
it.
want to be a control freak, right? Like that's when you step up and be a control freak about your
Right? Yeah.
own.
Put it there.
Yes, exactly. Exactly, right? Of your own health and well-being, of your thoughts, your beliefs. And I mean, we all have a choice of how we live our lives. And I always say, like, your mind is either your best friend or your worst enemy, right? And you're the one
1000%.
that gets to decide. Yeah. And for me, looking back at that time when I finally got quiet enough to hear my thoughts, oh my God, that was the worst enemy, the worst critic in my head.
Pretty bad, right?
It is. And I had to be like, we are not doing this anymore. Because if
So
I'm going to be that
why would you
happy,
program yourself like that? I
yes,
mean,
I
it's just
know.
like conditioned. But to your point, like when I started unpacking, I'm like, why do I look at myself? Like, I would
Hmm.
never even treat my worst enemy as bad as I treat myself.
I know.
And that
I
was
know.
really mind blowing. I was like, I
Well,
gotta
and
work on this narrative.
you think about it though, it's all a habit. Everything's a habit. Being a happy person and grateful, that's a habit. Complaining, it's a habit.
It
Eating like
is.
crap, it's a habit. All of it, everything is a habit. And until you stop and you have that awareness of what you're doing and why you're doing it, you'll just stay as a robot and be like,
Yeah.
That's
And
why
I
so
love
many
that you
people
said
like, yeah,
awareness because I truly believe that's the
yeah, I
first
do
key to
too.
change.
Yeah,
Like you get that aha. You can't aha. You can't aha. Is that a word? I don't know, but I am making it up today. You can't undo it.
you can't have an aha. No, it's so true. As a matter of fact, I think it was Einstein that said that once your mind expands, then it can't go back. You can't be like, yeah, you can't aha. You can't epiphany or
Yes.
you're like, you had a synchronicity. You can't undo that. It's going to change you,
It
right?
does. And it does.
Yeah. But
So let's
I
go
think,
to
yeah, go ahead.
no, I was just gonna say, like, I could probably like talk to you for 2 hours straight and totally be okay. But we have like 10 minutes left. So I do want to go to the freedom acronym because I'm like, if I know listeners are probably already feeling our vibe and feeling empowered and like, yeah. So I'm assuming does the F start your process?
Yes, it does.
Well, can we
And
talk about the F?
when I wrote the book, I literally sat there and I looked back at the 2 years of that reinvention of myself and my life. And I did it in order because then I felt like, well, if I did it this way and it worked, then why wouldn't I just share the same actual framework? So, step one is free yourself from limiting beliefs and self sabotage. Yes, we all do it. But to
For
free
real.
yourself of that, R is to reset your life of the clutter, emotional and physical clutter that we have in our lives. Step three is envision. The first E is envision a future filled with
I love that.
vitality and confidence and joy. Step four is embrace and explore your potential, your passions, and your purpose, what you're really good at. And then step five is detach from tomorrow, start living for today. O is own your best self with unshakable boundaries. This one's kind of new for me. Yeah, because I I was never very good at setting the boundaries, but I'm
Well,
getting better.
I was not either. And that led to my bathroom floor moment. So that was
Yeah.
like, as I rewind my own process, that was one of the things that I had to do. And I didn't even realize that's what I was doing. I just, out of necessity, had to start saying no when I always said yes, just to like not end up back on the bathroom floor. And then
Yes.
later I was like, oh, those were boundaries.
I mean, if you think about it, no one ever, I mean, I don't know about you, but especially growing up or in my 20s or 30s, no one was like, let's talk about boundaries. Let's teach boundaries.
Let's
I
teach
mean, if
them in
they
a
only
healthy
taught that
way.
in school, oh my gosh. Yeah, I needed that bad. So, and then finally, M is master yourself. So you stay
Love that.
grounded with life's inevitable ups and downs because shit's always going to happen, but it's how you handle it so that, yes, you might get knocked down, but you're going to be able to get up much quicker the next time.
Yes, and I say something similar. I'm like, "Life be lifing." Like, you can pretend that it's not going to in 2 months from now or 6 months from now, but guess
Yeah,
what?
I know.
It is. It's gonna do its
Yeah.
thing. And then
I
how are
think
you prepared for
especially,
that?
right? Again, especially when you're 40s, 50s, and beyond, life will change. Those birdies leave the nest, right? You're going to go through perimenopause and menopause. If you're a man out there listening, then whoever you're with is probably going to be going through it. So you have to deal with it. And our parents are aging. You're like, there's so many
So
things going
much.
on. So
Yes.
much. And sometimes it's all at once. So the more that you're able to stay grounded, stay centered, and be aware, just like you said, right? Having that awareness of how you're feeling and cutting yourself some slack. I mean, as a recovering perfectionist, again, right? I was so hard on myself. I know, like so hard on myself. If I was having a bad day, I'm like, I should not be having a good day, a bad day. I should be having a good day. I should be happy. And now I'm just like, I'm having a bad day. I'm having a bad, I just allow myself to just deal with it,
Yes.
knowing that I'll get through it. It's just,
100%. I think
it's
it's that,
awesome.
whether you wanna call it faith or what, but, like, that knowing that everything is cyclical, like, it's going to come to an end, though every
Right.
ending has a beginning, and just because you're having a bad day today, guess what? That's gonna end. It could be a bad week or a bad month, but it's definitely going to be if you don't shift your perspective and allow it to be something like, I'll probably talk to you more after we're done because we only have, like, 5 minutes left. But this past year has been really rough on me too, and I called it I do a lot of teaching. I have one of my keynotes is called The Power of And, so I really believe in and
Yeah.
that's what I was saying. It's like, even if you're having a bad day, you could be having a bad day and things still be going well. And so, like, last year, a year and a half ago, my brother passed away, so I wanted to, like, I know, it sucks. And I was releasing a Return to Radiance. He passed away in the second edit, and I had due dates, I had to keep going, and I'm like, "How am I gonna honor this colossal grief and
Yeah.
also honor one of my biggest joys, my passion, my purpose, like, also coming to life?" And so I just really love what you said because it's an honoring. It's like I had to honor the grief, but I had to honor the joy at the same time, and it felt conflicting, and at times it was, but they were both real and both alive inside me. So I'm really just glad that you mentioned that because I think it honors our humanness.
Yeah, totally. And it's the dichotomy of life, right? You wouldn't know joy if you didn't know sadness. You wouldn't know dark if you didn't know light. It's part of it. And it's like you being able to push through. Oh my God, that probably taught you a lot during
I
that
have the
time.
goosebumps again as you say that. I'm like, I've
Yeah,
learned so
yeah.
much that's just starting to land. Probably be another book about it someday.
Well, I mean, hence your book, right? A return to radiance. That even despite loss,
Yes,
death, like you're still able to come alive within yourself and return to radiance over and over. Like it's a practice, right? It's
it
just
is.
you just
It
have
is.
to teach yourself to, and it doesn't mean that you're not like you weren't honoring your brother. You were honoring your brother and you were
Yes.
honoring Becca. You were honoring
And I
yourself.
truly believe I honored him more by continuing my path,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah.
And so, anyway, I know and we have 3 minutes and I'm so sad, Wendy. We could keep going. But I really do. I'm sure the listeners are like, how do I stay in touch with Wendy? And so I want to get through all of that stuff. But I'm going to ask you one last question and then we'll summarize with where to find the book, how to stay in contact with you, and all that jazz. Okay, so let's tie all of this up in a bow. I always like to end, since it's the empowered half hour. What is an empowering message that you would like to share with the listeners?
Well, tying it into with my niche of midlife,
Yes,
you're not too old. It's not too late. Midlife is just the beginning, and it's the most exciting chapter of your life. So go for it. Whatever it is, go for it.
I love it. And I got the goosebumps again. I got them like 5 or 6 times. This is gonna be a good one, guys. All right, Wendy, how can the audience find your book, and all those beautiful things?
All those goodies. The best place is just go to wendyvalentine.com. Anything and everything is on there. The book Women Waking Up is sold everywhere books are sold. Obviously, Amazon. There's paperback, there's the audio read by me, and then also the ebook too. And there's over $500 in bonuses that go with the book that you can get on my website. And the show too, the podcast, the Midlife Makeover Show, wherever you listen to podcasts.
That is awesome. Well, Wendy, this was awesome.
Yeah, this was really good. Yes, yes.
It
You've
was
returned
really
me to radiance.
yes. Oh, yeah, I feel very woke up right now and ready to claim my midlife, so I appreciate you.
You are awake, girl. You are awake.
That's all right. So, well, thank you for being a guest. It was great to have you on.
Thank you, Becca. Everyone have a great day.